Hey y'all, it's your girl Kai. I am so excited to be back. Oh, I'm forgetting my own intro. Hold on. Rewind. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kai, aka the one that got away, aka make your heart beat hopscotch, aka your neighborhood reporter, and I am happy. I am excited to be back. I know it's been a minute. Life kind of happened. Things kind of just did what it needed to do, and therefore, you listen. Okay, don't matter. I'm here, and I am happy to be here. And before I get into it, I just want to thank everybody who watched my last video, and I am just so humbled. I thank you for the feedback, for the conversation, and I just encourage you all to just let's keep the conversation going. If anything, I want these videos to open up room for conversation, for people's opinions and ideas. I don't care if it agrees with mine or not. I think that we all have a right to our own opinion. And we can all, as long as it's respectful. Don't come on here and be disrespectful. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to be disrespectful. But we can respectfully state our opinions and or views and have a conversation about it. I am sorry for the glare in my glasses, but your girl wears glasses. So, and I'm doing this on my phone. Sorry about it. Sorry. Listen, for those of y'all, you just randomly clicked on this video. Welcome. I'm here to have a good time. This is my second video, so things may look a little bit, it's not like your other YouTubers, your professionals. It's very unprofessional over here on this channel, but that's okay. We like things to be a little organic. And yeah, I let's get into it. The reason why I paused was because I went back and forth on what my next topic should be, because of all of the recent events that have been taking place, that have been happening. I wouldn't be your neighborhood reporter if I didn't report what was going on in the neighborhood. However, we all know what's going on in the neighborhood, aka the community, aka the world. We see what's going on, we see what's happening, and I don't know if I want to bring that heaviness into the channel right now. Eventually we will. We're gonna have to talk about the things that are happening. We have to. I'm the neighborhood reporter. I gotta report. I gotta let y'all know what's going on in the world. However, it's a lot. And so I just encourage us all to just pray for one another if that's your thing. If it's not, at least let's maintain a level of respect and just let's just try to get to some level of peace. We don't necessarily all have to like one another, but we will respect one another, and we will get to some kind of peace. We probably won't be all holding hands and everything like that, but let's come on now. Things have just gotten crazy. So yeah, you clicked on this video because you see the topic that we're talking about, which is monogamy. And I was a little nervous to do this. I'm not gonna lie. You could fast forward a little bit if you don't want to hear me talk as much. But I'm just gonna do a little background on how I came to this topic. I made a post on Instagram. I was like, okay, I'm in between two different topics to talk about, and normally I get topics when I see things on social media and just the world around us. I see I listen, I hear what people are talking about, and I'm intrigued by it, and it influences me, thus making a video on it. So the two topics were, it's like motivation, self-perseverance, trying to get through life. So that was its own category. And then it was monogamy. So I put it on my Instagram, happy over hate. I'm gonna say that again for those of y'all who aren't following me. It's looking real sad over there, but I appreciate all the people who are following me and who chit chat with me. But it's happy over hate. One word, no underscore, none of that. Happy over hate over on Instagram. Go check your girl out. Leave me some love. I'm gonna leave you some love back. Yeah, I asked the topic on there, and It was a tie, dead set in the middle. So I had to go to Google. I can't talk. I had to go over on Google, good old Google, and go on the generator, and then Monogamy won. And I was like, ooh, I want to talk about it. I want to get into it, but I'm like, oh, this is such a, I won't say a hot topic, but it's definitely gotten spicy. So here we are. We're going to talk about it. So before I get into my little spiel, I'm going to ask y'all a question, and I want y'all to answer. Some of y'all have probably already answered it because I have asked this question to people already as like a form of little research. What did I just say? Okay, this is my last thing, and then I swear I'm gonna get into the topic. I have been so tongue-tied lately and so like all over the place. So forgive me if this video is just all over the place. If my glasses are distracting you, please let me know, because they're distracting me. But I'm trying to just keep it going and figure out a way to just, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, but nevertheless, let me ask y'all the question. So, my question to you all is monogamy dead? I'm gonna give you a second. Go ahead, write it in the chat. Go ahead. Let me hear. Are you typing? Are you typing it down? Answer it. Answer it. Let me know. Let me know if monogamy is dead. All right. Okay, cool. So now that you've gotten that down, what inspired this was I've been seeing so many posts and so many people talk about dating. My last video, if you haven't checked it out, it's on my experience dating in 2022 and just my views, my outlook on the world of dating and what's been taking place and how it's just such a, I don't even have a word for it. Okay, it's just dating in 2022. It's just what's popping off is what's jumping off out here in these streets. Okay, and so I had saw on Instagram, again, social media is playing such a big part in all of this. But over on Instagram, I had seen a post that the Shade Room had posted, and it was this journalist, I forgot his name, well-known journalist. He had posted that he and a friend had decided that they were just going to get together, have a baby. He's been wanting a baby. She's been wanting a baby. They've been friends for years. And they decided to just come together, have that baby, and co-parent. And he argued that more people should take on this idea of just going into it being healthy co-parents, understanding that they don't necessarily desire to be they don't desire to want to be in a relationship with one another, but yet they want to be co-parent, which is, I'm going to get into that. Because that to me, listen, I'm not here to judge nobody. Again, I said we can all have our opinions and our views on different things, but okay. So they don't desire to be in a relationship with one another, or at least a romantic type of relationship. There we go. But they're like, nothing wrong with us wanting to have a child and be friendly about it. And so it's like they're getting their cake but and eating it too at the same time. And another well-known person who's made a statement similar to that was Rihanna. Prior to her becoming pregnant, I don't know if a lot of y'all remember this, but she had also made a comment saying that she doesn't believe that two people necessarily need to be together to have a child. She was like, society kind of pushes or forces people into believing that they need to be in a relationship and or be married in order to have a child, and she disagrees with that. She's like, I don't believe that that's necessarily the case. If two people want to come together, have a kid, and then just co-parent, that's cool too. So that then, a combination of that mixed in with all of what's been kind of going on, these different podcasts and things, which I'm going to get into as well. Listen, y'all, I got a lot of topics coming up, but just a mixture of everything has just led me to the point of asking, is monogamy dead? Like, are people wanting to be with one person and or be in a solid relationship, or is that no longer the thing? That's necessarily not the case anymore. Now, this isn't to go against people who believe in open relationships and things of that nature. I'm not going to necessarily get into all that in this video. That's not my area of expertise. None of this really is. I'm not an expert, but I'm not going to touch on that topic. I'm just, we're going to focus on monogamy. So I've just been like, okay, I'm hearing what people are saying. I'm seeing with my own eyes what people are doing. And so I've kind of broken down my answer, or at least I've given 3 reasons to my answer to that question, which is yes, monogamy is dead. If she's not dead, she's sleeping. She's dormant for right now. Because that's not monogamy. Monogamy is no longer, it's not what it used to be. And that's not to say that it's just completely out of the picture, but the way that we are now, our views on it, our idea of being with somebody has changed drastically. So I'm going to get into my 3 different reasons of why I feel like views or the outlook on monogamy has changed. And hopefully y'all can take something away from it. Again, let me know how you feel on what it is that I'm saying. So let me get into my first reason of why I believe monogamy has left the building. One of the reasons that I feel like this has happened is because of this idea of us finding the one, right? So a lot of times, especially for girls, younger women, growing up, it's heavily pushed, like romance is heavily pushed on us, like through Disney. And being this princess, this soft damsel in distress, this like, y'all know what I'm trying to get into. And so for girls, a lot of the time, we're kind of initially, what's the word I want to look for? We're kind of prepped in a way to be this soft, feminine type of thing. And that way we can find our Mr. Prince Charming, the one for us. And I think that, of course, as we got older, we realized it's getting harder and harder to find Mr. Prince Charming, and or he is everywhere but here where I need him to be, right with me. So a lot of women have kind of like rejected this idea of finding the one, finding Mr. Prince Charming. And I'm not mad at it. I understand it. I get it. Me being a woman myself. But then on the flip side of that, what I've noticed from men as well, it's like for them, how do I want to say this? Y'all, this is going to be a spicy topic. But for men are kind of just like, until that one comes along, I'm not treating all of the others like the one. If you get what I'm saying, like you don't get their full anything without proving to them that you're gonna be that one, that person for them that makes them be like, okay, I'm gonna settle down. So until you prove to them some kind of way that you're gonna be the one to chill them out, you get none of them. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with none of this idea of it, because truthfully, the one is what is the one? What is the one? What is this person? Who is this one that we're looking for? I feel a lot of times, both men and women, whomever, we have set this bar so high of finding the quote unquote one. What this person looks like, what this person does for a living, how much money this person makes, how this person can complement their lives. Like, so for example, I see a lot of podcasters, men especially. I watch both men and women podcasts. I encourage y'all to do that as well. Don't just watch everybody. Get everybody's opinion on things. But in some of these podcasts, I hear men say things like, well, as a high value man, which I'm gonna get into later in this video. That's gonna be the next thing that I talk about. But as a high value man, I require this from a woman, and a woman has to do this. And on the flip side of that, women as well, we will have them conversations too, like, what is a man going to bring to the table? What is a man going to supply me? I need him to meet X, Y, and Z. And I'm not going to lie, at one point in time when I was younger, of course, I'm like, oh no, I need my one to have this, that, or the third. If a guy doesn't have one of the many things on the list, then he's not worth my time. But as I got older, I realized, I was like, okay, wait, hold on. Where is this coming from? And who am I to set a standard for somebody so high, an unrealistic standard at that? Based off of what? And I don't even know my own standards. I don't even know what it is that I like and don't like. What is it that I'm bringing to the table? Let me get confident in me first. So I think before we even take a deep dive into talking about monogamy and relationships and finding the one, figure out who you are first. Are you the one for you? Let's figure that out. And from there, once you get to know yourself, and it's crazy how humbling that all can be. When you get to know yourself and truly realize where you are flawed at, trust me, you're not going to be out here having this high list of saying, oh, I need X, Y, and Z, when you know that there are some areas where you're missing a few letters of the alphabet, sweetheart. You're not, and it's okay for us all to be confident. We can all have confidence, but let's not be cocky. Let's not be thinking that we're above everyone else. And so I've come to the conclusion where I was like, okay, I'm confident in who I am. I know myself, but I also know that I don't know who the one could be for me. Meaning, follow me. This is gonna be like a deep conversation, so I know I'm gonna lose some people on some of the things that I'm saying, but I encourage you to kind of just follow where I'm going. What I mean by that is, we all have preferences. And I'm not gonna sit here and front like preferences, I hope I'm saying that right. But I'm not gonna front like that doesn't play a part, because it does. For example, when people talk about being attracted to somebody and they're like, well, it doesn't matter about looks. Attraction isn't the end all be all. And it isn't. But at the same time, it definitely plays a part. I do believe, yes, you got to be attracted to somebody before anything even jumps off. No, you don't go and base things off of looks. And that's where I'm getting at with the whole, well, I don't know necessarily what my one looks like. Because you can't just, when you see a pretty face, be like, oh, I know that this one right here, just off of the looks. You can't do that. So I can't then just assume that my one is going to look like this, talk like this, dress like this, da 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 da. I can have my preferences. We all do. And that's okay. But to, again, make a certain standard or expectation, like, that's just unrealistic. It's not only unrealistic, but also, I'm going to take it a step further and say, you don't know how God decides to wrap your blessing. Like, a lot of us, and sorry for some of y'all who aren't spiritual, I'm sorry, every now and then I bring up spiritual things because I am. But it's like, for example, so many of us who are spiritual, we're like, oh, I know that God's going to bless me. He's going to bless me with this one thing because I know he is. or for some of us who don't necessarily, who are more so towards just the universe type of thing. Oh, I know the universe is gonna grant me this, that, third. A lot of us get into that without realizing it's not in our hands. It's or another way I could wrap that up for those of y'all who aren't spiritual, it's like when you're a kid and it's Christmas and you're like, oh, I want a toy. I want a toy for Christmas. And it may be the new, latest, best toy that's out right now. You see it in the commercial and you're like, I know I'm gonna get that for Christmas. I'm gonna get it for Christmas. And so all you see is a present under the tree. It's wrapped up. You don't necessarily know if that toy is going to be in there or not. You don't necessarily know what it's going to look like on the inside. You just know, you're like, ooh, that's mine. That is mine right there. And so you go, you unwrap it. It may be the hottest, greatest toy that you were hoping for. It may be what you hoped for. Or on the flip side of that, it may not be. It may not look the way you have wanted it to. It may still be a great toy. Like, it may be the second best. It probably wasn't the first best that is out there, but it's the second best. And so you can either sit there, throw a temper tantrum and be like, I don't want that. It's not what I asked for. But then your parent can turn around and be like, did you or did you not want a toy? Like, did you or did you not expect something? You wanted something in order to bring you some type of joy, to have fun with, to play with. Did you or did you not want that? Right? And so, I mean, when you're a kid, nobody wants to, we're not getting into all that. We throw temper tantrums. But as we become an adult, we then have to start, and maybe as a kid, we probably should start training our kids to kind of show a little more humility, but that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. Nevertheless, as we get older, we can sit here and have these expectations, these desires, these beliefs. But as we all know, life don't play fair, and things are not going to always go our way. We are not in that much of control, regardless of what we want to believe. I know there's some spiritual people out there who believe that they are in full control. I don't necessarily believe that. Again, this channel, we're open to new ideas respectfully. And so respectfully, I can disagree. And I don't disagree. And I don't agree with that. Excuse me. I don't agree with that completely, if at all. But yeah, like I know there's some people who believe like, no matter what I say, it's going to go my way. Whatever. That's you. But ultimately, for the majority of us, we know that that's not necessarily the case. And so when we look at dating and we have things like social media, not even just social media, but dating apps, where we're looking to see the picture, the bio, what does this person write? What does this person do? What is it that they're going to say that gets my attention? They have to earn it with me. They have to prove to me that they're worthy of my time. Child, we need to grow up. We need to grow up and we need to get out of that mindset. First things first, to the people who are like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to give nobody that commitment. Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. However, that does not mean that you can go and pollute the rest of the ocean with your toxicity. Don't be out here talking about, well, there's plenty of fish in the sea and I'm just going to do whatever I want to, creating pollution and toxicity for the rest of us. Okay? You don't need to go out here. If you truly are wanting to be alone and focus on you, do that. Don't be out here trying to tap dance with temptation and take a little bit of this and take a little bit of that and all of this just nonsense when you don't have to. There's no need for you to be out here being toxic. There's nothing cute about being toxic. There's nothing cute about being for the streets. I said it. I didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. I mean, I know people joke and they're like, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna be in these streets, but do so respectfully. That's all I'm saying. Just everybody just do so respectfully. Don't be out here polluting the ocean, like I said, being toxic. So anyway, yeah, that is just, we need to change our idea and our view on what is the one. Are we looking for the one to satisfy our desires? Are we looking for the one, or are we looking for the one to satisfy our needs? So do we want desires met, or do we want our needs met? And I know somebody, I felt it in my spirit. Somebody's going to say that the two are the same. They are not the same. They are not the same. I see where you're going. I see where you're going. I feel you getting ready to argue with me about that, but they aren't. We can desire something that we do not need at all. A desire isn't necessarily always a need. Sometimes it's more so of a want. And I remember when I was studying, I had a class on religion, and we got into the topic of Buddhism. And one of the four noble truths, so in Buddhism there's the four noble truths. One of them, and I'm not going to say it exactly right, but one of them ultimately was desire desire causes suffering. So what we desire ultimately causes us to suffer as well. So a lot of us, we're out here looking or holding this expectation of the one, this list, and because none of us are getting all of the boxes, because some of us, we're getting some of those boxes checked off, but we're getting greedy and we're like, I need all of them. And some of us, aka me, we, the boxes, they just, can I get one check? Can I get somebody to check something off? Anyway, we're either getting some of them or none of them checked off. And therefore, we're canceling out all of these people. We're like, you're not even checking this box. Oh, you're out of there. Without going back and rechecking our own list. See, because that's another thing. A lot of us got these expectations and these lists that we're dead set on without going back, rereading, and reevaluating what on this list is important and what isn't. What is it? This is the last thing I'm going to say on it. Excuse me, I have something that's going on in my chest. Sorry. But this is the last thing I'm going to say on this, and I'm going to go on to the other two. But a lot of us, what we need to realize is when it comes to this great search of the one, are we searching for somebody to fulfill something that we can fulfill within ourselves? Or are we searching for someone to fulfill something that we know we don't, that we can't necessarily fulfill ourselves? Meaning, for example, let's say I need somebody to make me feel loved. I want love, so I need somebody to go and be in my life and make me feel what that feels like. When in reality, I don't know what love is because I don't love myself first. So because I don't have that down packed first, I'm now like, I gotta search for that. I gotta find that. That's my one. The one is gonna have that, and the one is gonna give me that. When it's like, no. That's different. Because I can love myself. I'm requiring somebody to do something that I gotta first fulfill within me. Now, what I can say is I'm looking for companionship. I'm looking for a partner. And that's different. That's different than being on this great hunt for love. I know what love is. I love me. I love myself. But I also want to feel what it's like to be with someone else, to have that companionship. That's a different story. That's not necessarily going to just come I can't step outside of me and be best buddies with me. I mean, I feel in my spirit somebody else is going to argue with that statement, but y'all get what I'm saying. That's something, okay, yes, somebody else can bring that to the table for me. So let's just keep that in mind with the one. Let's get out of this idea of the one and let's start being honest with ourselves and each other, and being open to experiencing life differently. Be open to experiencing somebody in a different way. This person who is meant for you is meant for you while still being authentically them. Do not try to change somebody into being what you need them to be. Accept them for who they are. And with that, see if the two of you can go through life together. Okay? Okay. Number 2 of why I feel like monogamy is going away, it's slipping away. What's that TikTok where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna sing it. Y'all know what I'm getting at. Okay. So the number 2 reason why I feel like monogamy is going away, this false idea, and I'm gonna have to make a video on this. These ideas of high value men and high value women. Stop. Can we stop? I am so sick of this conversation. Because a lot of these conversations are fueled with entitlement. So many people really believe truly in their hearts that they are so much of this high value that they can now they have earned the right to do what they want to do. You got men saying if a man is high value and he cheats and he's provided this one lifestyle for you, you got to deal with what he's doing because he's giving you money or providing you a certain lifestyle. You have women who are making up a nice amount of money, and because a guy may not match them with that type of money, they're like, I'm not going to date a man who makes less than me. Ugh. And I'm like, to both conversations, I'm just like, who do we all think that we are? And I'm using a lot of we because I don't want people to make it seem like I'm just attacking them. So it's the same thing when counselors, they train you to use I statements so that way you don't offend anybody. So I'm kind of using like I and we interchangeably, but so that way it doesn't seem like I'm being too judgy. So, but who do we think we are? What is going on? And it's like it's going back into this idea of the one, but now it's like, so it's like we truly believe. It's a lot of us really believe in that we are untouchable and that we are the number one prize and everybody else should be lucky to have us. Y'all see how I'm reacting to all of this? Y'all see how I'm it's gotta end. It's gotta end. Even the conversations that I see with different podcasters, I'm just like, none of this is coming off. Y'all, look, I was trying to hold back, but let me just take a deep dive into it. When it comes to these podcasts, doing these talks on high value, to me it comes off very new money. Like, to the men and women who are out here talking about I'm a high value man, I'm a high value woman, it's coming off very new money. It's coming off as you are now somebody who's entered into a new lifestyle, and because you've now entered into it, you've kind of forgotten your humble beginnings, and you're now feeling as though, I need this, I'm entitled to this, I'm here, give me that. Okay, so I feel somebody, again, sometimes y'all know I'm a little crazy. So every now and then I'll be making this assumption. It could be false, but I feel like somebody is saying to me, Kai, well, if I worked hard, I've earned the right to want this and that for myself. That thinking, though true in some circumstances, does not apply to everything. Okay? Yes, if you work hard, you have earned the right to go out there and experience different luxuries. Of course. But to think that you are at such this quote unquote high value, that you are such a prize, that people now need to honor you and recognize who you are, sit down. Have a seat. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're not all that. We're not all that. We as people, I myself, I am not all that. I can be confident in me. I can love me. But I am no better. I am no better than anybody else. I cannot stand, if there's one thing that gets on my nerves the most and that will really trigger me, is somebody who feels either it's entitled and or feels as if they are better than somebody else, especially when that belief is built off of materialistic things. If you are feeling because you have now accumulated a certain amount of money that you are now better than somebody, life is going to humble you in a very scary way. Just as fast as you are able to make that money, you can lose it. Just so you know. Again, I'm going to get into that. I could do a whole video on this topic right here because it gets under my skin so much on this high value thing. But let me just take a step back. So let me address the two arguments. Let me start off with the ladies first. For women to believe, and I get it. I get this idea of wanting to be with somebody who you feel safe and secure with. Like you want to be comfortable with somebody. I get that. But and I know I said we're allowed to have our preferences. But again, these conversations, people take this a step further. To say like, he's not making more than me. To use that value, the money, as a way to say he's not doing enough. Like he's almost as if it's like women are saying this as a way of saying he doesn't work as hard as me. When in actuality, he can work 10 times harder than you. He probably has more ambition and drive than you. But because you don't see the monetary value in that, you now write that off like it's nothing. When in actuality, he can possess all of the other things that you're looking for, minus him making more than you. Not that he doesn't have money at all. He can very much so be making money that not only supports his lifestyle, that's the first thing we should be looking at. Is this person capable of taking care of themselves? Are they financially stable on their own? Not, oh, is he making more than me? What does that matter? If he's taking care of himself, if he's provided a certain lifestyle for himself successfully, then that's way better than trying to get with somebody who doesn't have a job at all but can satisfy you sexually. See, that's another topic for another day for some of y'all out there. For some of us out there. Again, let me know. I don't want to come off judgmental. But so to ignore, to write him off based off of value, what is value? What does value mean to you? What makes somebody valuable? Money, their bank account? Is it their drive? Is it their what makes somebody valuable is the question. Nobody's going to answer that the same, by the way. I can tell you right off the rip. Nobody's going to answer what makes somebody value. We're not going to have the same answer for that. What makes somebody valuable? We're not. So going back to women, it's like, okay, so we figured out whether or not can this man provide for himself. He can. Okay. So what is it that you think? Do you think he's then going to use you for money? Are you afraid of having to support him? Because we've already established that he can support himself. He's doing well without you. So I don't understand the fear of like, well, he's going to use me. Not saying that that isn't a thing and that that doesn't happen. Absolutely, it happens. And most of the time, we can catch on to those red flags before it happens, if you want to be truthful. Sometimes we can see red flags, and a lot of us, we ignore it. What's that one? I saw this one meme where it was like, I saw the red flag, but I thought it was a circus. So they just went anyway. They went to attend anyway to be entertained. And see, that's how a lot of us get caught up. But I digress. As we get back to it, he's stable on his own. He can take care of him. So this fear of like, he needs me to take care of him, no. That's not necessarily true. Or is it, I see when some women say that, they're like, well, how can he be a provider for me if I'm making more than him? What do you need to be provided to you? Because you're making money. You can take care of you. So what is it that you need him to provide for you? And see, I mentioned that in my last video too, and I think it went over a lot of people's head. And that's another thing. I noticed when we take money out of the conversation, oh, it's a whole different type of conversation. It gets way deeper than people are expecting it to. Because if we take out money, both you and him, yeah, you're making more. You and him are able to provide money for yourselves. Money is already being provided. What else, aside from that, do you need him to provide for you? And once you have that figured out, how do you know that he can't provide it? See, so it's like, it's going back again to the first thing, but it's all connected. To make the statement of, I'm here, and if he's not going to do this, then he doesn't need to be for me. And another thing, one thing to also be careful of, be careful what you wish for. Because some women are then saying like, and I get it, yes, you want to find your equal. So essentially, yeah, you want to be with somebody who, y'all have the same views of a lifestyle. But some women are like, okay, I want a man to make 3 times more than me. So that means he's going to be working 3 times more as you. He's going to be having to do this, that, and the third. You now have to be in the background of whatever he's doing. You're not the top priority. If you already take into account all the things that you have to do to work hard and how much time that's taking up for you, and you now are requiring somebody to do all of that 3 times, what is it that you're asking for? What is it that you're really wanting? You know what that entails. You know how time consuming that could be, this, that, and the third. And so now you want to be with somebody who is essentially not going to have any time for you. Let's think about it. And for the guys who are like, I'm high value. If I cheat, you got to roll with that. That's very... How, to which point, when are we going to get to the point to where sex is just sex? Does sex rule your life that much to where you're like, no, I'm making money, so I just want to be screwing whomever? And that's going to get into another topic. That's going to get into the last topic of, the last point of the 3 points that I'm making. But this idea of, I'm high value, and I any woman I want, I can get. Eventually, you're going to be going down that road so much to where it's just going to be like, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Once you've experienced one, you've experienced them all. What's next? What is it that you're craving? Are you craving attention and to be seen? Are you craving just to have sex? Because once that's done, then what? Like what? Like I just I don't. This whole topic, it can only go so far. These quote unquote titles of high value, you're only valuable to somebody who finds value within you. You can have whatever money you want in your bank account, but if money does not matter to them, which I believe I'm now this is me. I do not believe money is everything. That's debatable. Some people strongly disagree with that statement, but I don't. I believe, yes, we need to be stable and we need money in order, like, yes, we're living here in this world. Of course, we need money to do X, Y, and Z. But is that everything? No. Do I want to live comfortably? Yes. But I'm not out here on a hunt for this and that. Like you see people you see spiritual people who do things like money manifestations, and I'm not into that, respectfully. Or even or even Christians. I myself identify as Christian. Who are like, they're trying to pray for money. Like, that's not my thing. Like, I'm not out here like, God, give me money. I need money. Give me money. Give me money. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But yeah, money isn't the end all be all for me. I can care less if I make more money in the relationship or not. Like, that's not a big deal for me at all. It's not. So somebody coming up to me like, oh, well, I make 6 figures. That's great. But if I can't, like, intellect, to me, super important. If I can't hold a conversation with you, if I can't learn from you, or another thing, intellect, but also I'm very community oriented, aka the neighborhood reporter, as we know. So if I can't talk to you about community events, or if you could care less about what's going on in the community, respectfully, some people, they're not into that sort of thing. Your 6 figures mean nothing to me. If I can't hold a conversation, I can't learn from you, I don't care about, like, what can your 6 figures do for me other than buy me something? We can only do that for so long. Like, and then I'm out. So, value, you're only valuable to somebody who finds value in whatever it is that you're trying to advertise yourself off of. So ultimately, let me just get off of this, because I can go on and on and on, like I keep saying. It's just, we need to let that go. Nobody's more valuable than anybody else. Simple. Let's just leave it at that. So let's move on to my final and last point to why monogamy has gone away. I don't know what that was. I'm just trying to, make things fun. It's a long video, and hopefully y'all like it. If y'all haven't, please subscribe and like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. Yeah, so the last thing. Society lack accountability and discipline. That just threw some of y'all for a loop that I said that. But here's why. A lot of people are like, I don't know if I mentioned this or not in my video, but I had also made a poll asking the question about monogamy. People have answered, and a lot of people are like, well, people just aren't interested in being with one person. Like, it's just a free-for-all, essentially. People are they want to experience multiple people. And like I said, I'm not attacking people who are into polygamy. Hopefully I said that right. I'm not attacking people who are in, like, the beginning stages of dating, you know, you're dating, you're talking, whatever, that sort of thing. I'm more so addressing when people feel the need to cheat and are trying to excuse that behavior with, well, everybody does it, everybody cheats, or, well, that's just how life goes. And I honestly, cheating, I feel like, is another reason why a lot of people, that's probably a point I should have added, but I'm not gonna. We all know what cheating is and how that affects us. But cheating has made it to where people are like, in order to avoid cheating, let's just not even say that we're in a relationship. So that way, if you do mess with somebody else, I'm not hurt because technically we're not together, which I think is BS. Because if everybody want to play house, do this, that, and the third, and you built this relationship with this person, this emotional relationship with this person, you're going to feel affected if they're now showing that same affection or attention towards somebody else. You're going to feel some kind of way towards it. You don't have to call this person your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whomever. You don't have to necessarily put a name on it, but you got a feeling on it. And you're going to feel away once the person who you care for is showing that they are caring for somebody else. Because even in open relationships, there's still feelings involved. And in order to address those feelings, you need communication. So that's another reason why I'm just like, people like Nick Cannon, and I'm not here to attack nobody or bash anybody. A perfect example of the argument of a man being able to make money. Like, yes, he can provide for these kids that he's having. Does that make it okay of what he's doing? In my opinion, no. I'm gonna stop myself. But just this idea of I don't have to be attached to one person, but your feelings are attached to multiple people. And at some point, we got to start taking accountability over our actions and what it is that we're doing. A lot of us, and I'm gonna stay on this idea of not putting a name on it. Like, we're not together, but we're doing all of the things that, my earring keeps coming off. I'm so sorry, y'all. That's because I'm messing with these braids and stuff like that. But a lot of, I see a lot of conversations where it's like, well, technically we're not together. So technically, and it's like, so what is the point? Does adding a quote unquote label to it now add a certain amount of pressure to where, you know, like, oh, if this person views me as their girlfriend, they now expect me to act a certain way. And because I know I don't want to necessarily act that way, oh, don't call me that. Let's not put that label on me. So therefore, there's no expectation of me being X, Y, and Z. Is that what we're getting at? We're going to try to avoid names, labels, all of that, so that way we can avoid certain expectations. Because like I said earlier in the video, we're still expecting something. Nobody's dealing with somebody for nothing. That's just bottom line. So there's still an underlying expectation, and you're still requiring this person to meet that. You don't have to put a name on it. And I said in the last video, and I will say this in almost all of my videos, this is something that I live by. People teach you how to express. They do not teach you how to feel. So you can train yourself to not react or express your true feelings, but you're going to feel it and you got to live with it. And that's between you and your spirit, yourself, on how you're going to go about handling that. So we have this idea of, let's not put a name on it. Therefore, expectations aren't being met. Therefore, I am not held accountable for my actions. And then on the flip side of that, right, so we have the accountability. We have people trying to dodge accountability. And then we have discipline. People lacking discipline. Because ultimately, for those of us who believe in monogamy, again, for those of y'all who don't, if you don't believe in monogamy, in this video, you may be like, okay, whatever. But ultimately, when we do get with somebody, we know it's up to us on how we're going to represent ourselves and the person that we're with. Truthfully, and I remember there's like another saying where it's like, somebody leaves the house, you don't know what they're gonna do. It's up to them on whether they decide to be faithful or not. And that's the truth. That's truth. It's a hard truth, but it's a truth. And that's just life in general. Even when it comes to sex. You can go out and mix and mingle with whomever. But eventually, when are you going to develop that discipline to where you learn, you know what? I don't need to do that. Because I'm going to say it. I was going to stop myself, but let me say it. It's my channel. I can say what I want, okay? People play with sex is like you can't catch an STD. STDs are very real. It's not judging anybody who has it. I'm just saying they're very real. And a lot of us get this loose idea with having fun and being with whomever, and that fun has now led us down a whole different direction. So all I'm saying is let's be smart about it. Because that when sex is just sex and you having fun and you're not catching nothing, when you're not having a baby involved, it's like, okay, it's whatever. But then all of a sudden, it's always that. Then it happens in one moment. You done got away with it for however long, and now you caught up. When you could have disciplined yourself to, and I'm not going to get too into my own personal beliefs, but if you are choosing to deal with multiple, you need to be safe. You need to be safe when you're dealing with other partners. Bottom line. And for those people who even because I feel like people who are open to open relationships are like gonna feel away kind of about what I'm saying. But even in open relationships, that does not mean you then go and sleep with whomever. And you're not only putting yourself at risk, but other people at risk. No. At some point, we have to discipline ourselves and train ourselves to back to what I was saying. Not everybody, you don't need to be having sex with everybody. Everybody doesn't need to experience you. You don't need to experience everyone. And also, being with one person does not then mean you miss out on life. It isn't. What I find is, it's almost like this is the best way I can break this down. It's almost like when girls are like finding their wedding dress, or let me not say wedding dress. When girls are trying to find their prom dress, and so we're looking for, or not even just girls, but just everybody, when you're looking for that outfit, let's say you got an important event and you're looking for that outfit, and you're looking for that one outfit, the one outfit that's going to make you stand out, and you're searching and you're trying to compare it to other outfits, and you're like, I'm trying to make sure the outfit that I get is going to be the outfit that nobody else has. It's going to be the outfit that stands out from everybody. I get it. We all fall into that trap. I fall into that trap sometimes. When I'm looking for an outfit, I'm like, I got to make sure this outfit is, I got to make sure I'm good. But again, everything doesn't apply to every situation. When dating, people are like, well, how do I know I want to be with this one person for the rest of my life? How do I know somebody out there isn't better? You don't know. Truth be told, you don't know. None of us know. And the fact of the matter is, it's not important. Whether or not you're going to come first, people are pretty. So you're not going to get into a situation where people aren't going to stop being pretty because you're in a relationship. People are going to be pretty. People are going to be nice to look at. We're going to have celebrities, these influencers. That's going to always happen. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to always be there. People are going to always be on earth. The same people die every day and people are born every day. So, truthfully, If you want to keep holding on to this idea of, how do I know? It could be something better out there for me. It could be this out there. If you want to go on this great search, that's on you. Or you can go throughout that and deal with all that. Or you can settle yourself down and find discipline. Find peace in the decisions that you're making. Make a decision and stop trying to look for and feel validated for this, for that. That's too much. That's too much. When we get with somebody, when you have told somebody, okay, listen, me and you, I'm ready to thug this thing out. You may not say it like that. I'm from the Bay. So our lingo kind of different over here. But so you get with somebody and you're like, all right, me and you, we're going to do this. This is us. Hold yourself accountable to what it is that you're saying. And with that, you're going to have to train yourself a little bit. Add a little discipline in your life. Remind yourself that, yeah, I could go out and do this, but why? What good is that going to do for me and the person that I've not only decided to be in a union with, but also I've told this person things. I've given this person my word. And I think that's what I'm getting at ultimately. A lot of us, we're not standing on our word. We're saying one thing and doing a whole nother. And then we're trying to come up with excuses for what it is that we do, knowing that we're dead wrong. What's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. And we can all sit up here and try to find cheat codes to life and try to find ways of being in a relationship without saying that you're in a relationship, dealing with somebody without having to fully deal with them. We can keep doing this tug of war back and forth, but all of that is going to come back. And we're going to have to make a decision and stick to it at the end of the day. We're going to have to live with the choices that we have made. And that's where I'm trying to get at. Whatever, life is full of choices and decisions or decisions. Once it's made, it's made. And once you do that, it's up to you to not only live and deal with the repercussions to that, but it's also up to you to hold yourself accountable of, I chose this, I did this, and because I did it, I'm going to see it through. So ultimately, when we look at all three of these points and we're talking about monogamy, it's like, it isn't necessarily that it's dead, but we as society, we're no longer trying to practice that. We're no longer trying to get into that because we know what it comes with. See, a lot of us, we know what monogamy entails. It's just more so whether or not we want to do it. And I think we've gotten to a place to where there's so many outlets and or resources, not resources. Somebody was distracting me outside. But there's so many things to where we can now no longer have to do. Like we don't have to choose monogamy. Monogamy isn't the only option. All these other options are just as easily accessible. We can easily do this, that, the third. We can go out here and mix and mingle. We have dating apps. We can find hookups like that. It is nothing. It is nothing to go out here and satisfy the desires. So my only argument, I'm going to close out this video. For those of y'all who have rocked this out, again, it's another long video. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. More videos to come. Hopefully I can be more frequent with it. But I'm going to close out with this. We're all deserving of love. And we all have the right to experience love and or companionship, being with someone. We can all achieve that. That isn't something that is so out of reach. That isn't something that's so hard to do. It requires effort from all of us. And that's life. Life is going to require effort. It's going to require sacrifice. It just requires, we're just going to have to meet certain requirements. We are. But we can do it. And it doesn't have to be as hard and as crazy as we're making it out to be. Monogamy doesn't have to be dead. We can achieve monogamy. We're just choosing not to. And hopefully one day, I don't know, things will change and maybe some of us, a lot of us, will start making that choice again. But in the meantime, in between time, I hope that you take the points that I have said. Hopefully it sparks something into you to where we can talk about it. You can see like, okay, yeah, Kai, I agree with that. Actually, Kai, I don't agree with that. Whatever. But that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with on today's topic about monogamy. I may make a part 2 to this. I don't know. This video is very long. But yeah, there's more topics to come. And I thank y'all so much for rocking with me and for being a part of this experience. Thank you for having this moment with me. Again, I don't know quite what to call this channel just yet, but I'm having a vibe. I'm feeling it. I'm having fun. Hopefully this video wasn't boring for you. I know I paused a lot in this video, but I was getting distracted and I was trying to clear my train of thought. Again, please, 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 I keep saying this over and over again because it is really important for me, for y'all to just give me feedback, let me know. Hopefully I could probably feature some of what y'all said. And if I do make a part 2, I will definitely feature what a lot of y'all have said. So again, I thank y'all so much and I see you on the next video. Thank y'all.